All right, we are live on YouTube and Facebook. We're about to go live on Instagram here.
Did we do it?
Instagram always has this little bit of a lag.
Come on, Instagram. I woke up today and thought, I'm going to wear my new orange lipstick.
I love it.
I saw someone, I watched the New Yorker 100-year anniversary documentary, the New Yorker magazine, and one of the journalists had this orange lipstick, and I was like, I want to be like her. So I went out and bought it like the next day. So now I'm cool.
Yeah, I mean, you're like hip with the jive.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hip now. Feels great. Feels great to be hip.
Yeah. Well, I mean, orange lipstick, is that your solution to the male loneliness epidemic? Which is what we're talking about today?
Every man I see, this will cheer him up and nudge him towards his better self. I could watch like it gets on my teeth. Yeah, this is it. This is live over. Just get on lipstick. Problem solved.
Everybody just needs orange lipstick and we have no more problems.
Yeah.
What I love about that though, Three, is that usually the solution is always so simple.
Okay.
Yeah. So what if it was just orange lipstick?
I mean, this is bringing me a lot of joy. Like, I have this notebook that like you're supposed to like set all your goals and what was the best thing that happened to you last week and what is your bucket list and what is all this stuff and that you want to do and achieve and be. And I was all fired up with it for a while. And I started to realize like, I don't like this vibe of like, did you have a peak experience yesterday? Oh, you didn't? But like, yeah, I got orange lipstick and that was great. What if that's it? Like, do I need to be so amazing on this planet? I got pink balloons for the Valentine's Day brunch I'm hosting, and that filled me with absolute joy. My plants, I guess those are my peak experiences. Maybe I'm not a super high achiever, but what if that was like okay? Like, I don't know. What is it? I'm sick of this talk about peak experience. There, I said it.
Well, and I think what you're pointing to, and this is also with the loneliness epidemic, is just the need for perfection or the rules that we create socially as a human species around what's right, what's wrong. And there is a right way to do life, and there's a right way and a wrong way. And ever since I channeled Maitreya in January, and he said, there's no right or wrong way to do life. I've just been saying that over and over to so many students because I just love that. It's so true. There's no right or wrong way to do any of this.
Yeah.
Well, it's really your path.
One of the things I was researching before today's conversation was to what degree is this true? Is there a male loneliness epidemic, or are we just talking about it a lot? And yeah, for sure. Well, women are lonely too. They're not as lonely, and they seem to have better tools and paths to connection and friendship. But for sure, men don't seem to have any friends. They want friends. Don't have people to talk to. They're isolating more and more and more. That is, in fact, true. So that was like, well, yeah, it is happening.
Well, thanks for doing some research, so we're not just speaking hearsay.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, that's what we're talking about today, the male loneliness epidemic and how it affects women. Because I'm hearing about this a lot, but like, okay, so what is my role in this? Do I have a role? I don't know. Because part of me feels, sometimes I've had moments where I'm like, let me get this straight, men. You've had the upper hand for as long as history's been recorded.
At least 2,000 years.
Right. And in the last 40 years, women started to scratch a little more towards equality, towards like, yeah, we have options, we have jobs. We don't have to stay in a marriage where someone beats us. We can leave and work. And you guys are just rolling over and dying because of this, like, because you don't have an automatic first place anymore. But that's me. I don't think that's fair. But I'm curious I have all kinds of opinions and thoughts about this topic. And I'm curious how you want to start it, what you've seen, what your perspective is from a spiritual point of view. Because it's real and it's bad for your health to be isolated. We are a social species. We don't need to have 10 friends. We need to have 2 or 3.
At least.
Right.
For good ones. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. It's quality, not quantity.
Right.
Size doesn't matter.
I'm glad that, we were in the first 10 minutes of this and we've managed to loop in a dick joke. Oh, it's not even 6 minutes. I love it. Good. Yeah. Keep those going. Right. I'm curious what you're thinking about this. It's fun because we never talk about it before. We just get on here and jump right in.
Yeah. Well, and that's what makes it kind of fresh, which is great. And you're such a great ad-libber.
Yeah.
Where I've been meditating on this for the past few days and thinking about, how do I want to speak to this? And hopefully those of you who follow Boulder Psychic Institute, you're finding
Sorry, is that me?
that's the chime when I'm about to impart some big freaking wisdom.
All these buttons,
That's the chime. Everybody,
If there are any males watching this that are tech savvy that just want to move into my life and just be with me at all times and be like a shadow and press all the buttons for me, pun intended, I'm open to that.
Pun intended.
I just want like a 27-year-old with me all the time where I'm like, how come I can't figure this out? Do it. I don't know. I'll take you to lunch. Let's please help me and I'll help you.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, what were you saying?
For those of you who have followed Boulder Psychic Institute for a while, hopefully, and if you haven't, please hear this. Where I always sit is really trying to bring everything that one might experience or that we're experiencing here on the planet from drama and polarity to simplicity and neutrality. Mm-hmm. And the way I like to do that is through just simple mechanics. Instead of making it personal, it's personal why men are this way, it's personal why women are treating men that way, or it's your fault and their fault, finger pointing. Instead of falling into that, I really like to try to get to, well, what are the simplest mechanics that if we just address that, problem solved. Mm-hmm. It's not orange lipstick, close.
It looks great.
Yes. And before I go anywhere with this, I do want to speak to, I am one of the biggest proponents of men, and I think 3 is too. I love men.
I'm a man lover.
I freaking love men. I grew up kind of like a tomboy, if you will, and all of my friends were guys up until fairly recently, until I started Boulder Psychic Institute. Then I went through the learning curve of how to have strong female relationships, because I just have always been more attracted to men, not just sexually, but on a friendship level. I like the simplicity. I like, getting out in nature and kind of doing things, high-fiving. And, I have my snowboarding buddies that, like I used to just roll with all the time. So I do want to just preface this with, I love men. Okay. And I think 3 does too. Okay. So we're not going to come from a place of men suck, men are the problem, or toxic masculinity. When I hear those types of phrases, all I hear is pain and wounding on both sides. Both sides. Okay. Pain and wounding on both sides. And so where I want to start today is the simplest definition of what loneliness is. As a psychic, when I hear somebody saying, I'm lonely, I feel alone, I am doing life solo, I have no other people in my world, I can't connect with others, the first and primary mechanic that I see there is that is a soul who's simply not in their body. The way that the human body spirit is designed is ideally for the spirit to be in the body, to occupy the body. When the spirit is not occupying the body, this hand is my soul, and I'm over here in la la land. I'm going to explain what I think is going on and why loneliness is getting worse for women too, is when that soul is not in the body's design, the genetic and the encoding in the body is to set off alarm bells. I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. Where did you go, soul? Don't ditch me.
Yeah.
Don't just abandon me. Please come back. I can't do this alone. So when you start having those thoughts, I'm alone. I can't do this alone. I have no connection. I don't have other people to talk to. As within, so without, right? That is an inner experience. And that has everything to do with this just simple mechanic. You're not in your body. Your body is letting off the alarm bell saying, I need you back. I'm scared. I'm terrified. It's kind of like driving down the highway and nobody's in the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say, I'm the driver of that car and I'm on the roof of the car. Car's just going 65 miles an hour down the highway. The car's going to be freaking out, right? Nobody's steering me. We're going to get in an accident. We're going to die. And sometimes the loneliness can get to that place of, I think I'm not going to make it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really is just this very simple mechanic that most of us are not educated on, right? We take loneliness, we take those thoughts. We've been programmed to believe that everything we think is ours and that we have to solve it. Or we are programmed to think that the body's the problem and we're not educated on the functionality of this body and what it's designed for.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed like a car to have the spirit in the body. And if not, those alarm bells will automatically go off. I don't care how much you try to meditate it away or manifest it away or ohm it away or do mantras or positive affirmations to make it go away. It's just simply not going to go away because this is thousands and thousands of years of genetic encoding to keep that body alive and safe. And when the driver's in the body, the soul is occupying that body's going to go, oh, we're safe. We're good. We got a driver here. But when you're not in, then the body will signal those alarm bells. And you can't meditate or mantra that away, right? It's just a simple mechanic. Can I get into the body? Boom. That loneliness over time will start to dissipate. And here at Boulder Psychic Institute, we operate off of the truth, as above, so below. You change your spiritual energy, the physical reality will follow. Well, spiritually, you get in the body, that physical experience is going to change. You're going to have less thoughts of being alone, less feelings of loneliness. And there's going to be some inspiration to get out there and be our pack animal selves and go seek out other people, right?
Yeah.
The reason why, as I've been looking at this for our talk, more and more and more, whether you're male or female bodied, people are experiencing loneliness is social media, the phone. I observed this even as a young child, TV.
Mm-hmm.
With TV, you leave your body on a soul level and you tend to go into the show or into the movie. Yeah. I remember one time being in a movie theater and like all the people in the movie were clapping at someone and I was like, yeah, like I was so in it.
Yeah.
My friend like elbowed me. I was like, oh my goodness, I totally like left my body and went into the movie. I was in it so much, right?
Yeah.
But we kind of lucked out where we were encouraged to turn off the TV, get outside. You couldn't do reruns. I mean, you had to spend forever trying to program that VCR to do that.
You missed Family Ties. You miss it.
Yeah, you miss and now it's just it's all right there on the phone. It's in the pocket.
Endless.
It's so easily accessible. Blah, 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 blah. And people are so trained now
Mhm.
where 90% of their day, they're not in their bodies, they're in their phone or in their computer.
Numbed out,
Of course,
disassociated,
everybody's gonna
disembodied.
Mhm. Yeah. So if I were to make this orange lipstick, blanket solution statement, put your freaking phone down, close your computer. I mean, keep watching us once we're done, once we're done.
I know, I mean, like, we have jobs, we need our computer, but
Yeah, but see if you can be on it way less because it is, they call it programming for a reason, TV
mm,
programming. It's programming you to be over there and want that thing instead of being here and having agency and doing your own thing.
mhm.
And they make a lot of money off of it.
Yeah.
All being duped, totally duped by this, totally programmed to where we're losing agency, we're losing touch with our bodies, we're losing touch with ourselves, and this is definitely the outcome.
We're
Mhm.
losing neutrality too, because I mean, if you're scrolling, you're being fed outrage and anger and things to just really enticing images to grab your attention and take you out of non-judgment, take you out of neutrality into, oh my gosh, here's the reason, look at this thing and it's so bad. And so we're getting addicted to the dopamine from scrolling. I mean, I am not innocent. I've been in this habit of scrolling before I go to bed. And even though I know better, and I'm like, God, put this down. I hate it. It's so addictive. And I hate that there's tech billionaires just with free reign to addict the kids, addict everybody to the phone. But we do have agency, and I agree completely with what you're saying. Is that the disembodiment? There's more and more things that just keep us out of our bodies. The work, not just the work stress. Yeah, but just so many guys, especially if they work remote. Remote work is another one that I feel like I like the flexibility of remote work, but I'm back on, like, let's all come back to work. Let's all come back to the office. Let's all come back to each other, but the phone is a bad baby. And I think men, would you say this is a fair statement that perhaps men are more susceptible? I don't know if I believe what I'm about to say, but the video games, the porn, they're just boop, gone.
Yeah, well, I think I read somewhere that the addiction for the male brain is YouTube or video games, whereas for the female brain, it is more social media.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at that energetically, that male brain is very different than the female brain. All right. In case y'all didn't get the memo, male brains and female brains are very, very different. They operate differently. They're structured differently. Different parts of the brain are bigger for females versus males, and vice versa. And I always just find this fascinating that scientists did not start studying the female brain until about 40 years ago.
Because we're hysterical.
Well, our hormones were unpredictable. So they
Just too willy-nilly. It's too crazy.
Yeah, our brains were the same as female brains, and I love that it's like these scientists are like, "Oh my goodness, they're so different." They're like,
Female bodies are different. Who knew?
yeah, women aren't men, with cool boobs. And so the male brain is very different. And if we were to kind of get more into scientific terms about it, the phrase that they use for that male brain is very single focused, single focused, single focused, single focused. And so the benefit of that is men can focus really well, and they're really good at getting one task done at a time. Boom. And they boom, just totally focus in on that. And so YouTube, that'll give them this focus thing where they're fed and they're like, oh yeah.
I can do 4 hours of the video on this one
Or
topic.
video game, I can focus right in, right? Notice I keep doing this, they focus, they're going into it, right? Boom, and there's just this, like, they're connected. Female brains, because they have a different amygdala, the two hemispheres of the brain communicate more than that male brain. We're more wired for connection. But what that looks like is diffuse awareness. Diffuse awareness. When a female bodied person walks in the room, they're aware of everything around them. That's why a man can lose his keys and the woman will say, "Oh, I just saw them 20 minutes ago. They're right there in that room on your bedside table, right underneath the blah, 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 blah." Right? And
Mhm.
you're like, how do you do that? Right? uh, I call it having a man look, and you call it, what is that?
Male refrigerator blindness?
Male refrigerator, male pattern
I mean,
blindness?
it's the worst with the fridge. Like, they open the fridge and
Yeah.
pure
Yeah.
blindness takes over.
Well, and that's because the male brain, it's like, in order for them to see what's in the fridge, they have to first look at the ketchup, and then they have to look at the mustard, and then they have to look
Think
at,
about that. Oh, that's mustard. Okay.
and they literally have to process it one at a time, and there, it's not remedial or bad. This is what has them focus and freaking get stuff done, right?
Yeah.
I know when I need to focus, I literally have to be like, focus, 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 because I hear the kids,
Mhm.
see the dog, the lights coming in my window in a weird way, right? And it's like, we can look in the fridge, it's like, and we just
Mhm.
yell at it, right? That male brain, that's not designed that way. And so that's why I do see that the female brains tend to like the social media, because it's like a different, it provides kind of like
Well, it's
multiple,
drama, it's story, it's like interpersonal things and things that, yeah, it's
and
interesting.
then they can interact a little bit more and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Uh, but if you will, with that male focused brain, I actually see that technology, phones, it's even more detrimental to their brain than it is to the female brain. Because sooner or later, that female brain, I can be on my phone and I can listen to my kids and I can type an email and I can do laundry and I can multitask, multitask.
I feel like
Right?
you haven't been checking the memes I've been sending you.
I I'm not, which one? I don't check social media. I have a social media person who does all my things.
Okay, that changes everything. Now I know who my audience is. That's funny.
Every now
Um,
and then I'll go, so if y'all message me on Facebook, if you're friends with me, I will not get it for like months, just so y'all
no.
know. Because obviously Three's been, you usually do Instagram, right?
Yeah, I'm usually sending you all kinds of funny things.
I'm never on Instagram.
Great.
TikTok is
Uh,
my vice. I do like TikTok a little bit more. It all
yeah,
started with, naked men dancing.
sure. Yeah.
And I remember being like, I went to my Gen Z nanny. I was like, so this TikTok thing that my social media person told me to sign up for, I don't know if this is the right platform for me because it's all hot men with no shirts dancing. She's
Like,
like,
let me tell you how this works. Okay, it can see your eyes and where your eyes are staring, so it knows what your eyeballs like.
I was like, but I'm not liking anything. And she was like, no,
You are.
TikTok's
Your body, your eyeballs are liking it.
woo. He's like, you just have to stay on a different video longer and you'll start to get different videos.
Right. Well, okay, I want to loop this back.
Well, wait, but one second, like that male brain, I do think it's less healthy for them because they do fall into that. And they can fall into a video game for days without remembering to eat or
Yeah,
showering or
I
talking to another human. Whereas a female can be half on social media, half talking to somebody else, half cooking, doing the dishes, da, 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 da.
yeah,
And the brain doesn't totally fall into this device like it does with
yeah.
that male brain. And I do see that that is the reason why male loneliness has become an epidemic, more for male-bodied people than for female-bodied people.
Right, and pile on to that the phenomenon. I think the phone, video games is the a huge driver. And just society wise, our institutions, we don't really go to church, we don't go to the bowling league, we don't go to the clubs, the civic groups, the whatevers, the softball team, neighborhood stuff. I mean, women going back to work over the last couple decades, women did used to make block parties happen, bridge night happen. The Johnsons are coming over to dinner tonight, and that there's less and less bandwidth for that now that both people, but there's no, I mean, stay-at-home parent who has that kind of money, so we have that too, of just there's not those easy places that bind people together, which I'm hoping that will start to change. I mean, even the Surgeon General in 2023 is saying this is a big problem. It's actually affecting the health of the people. It affects your health. And it also makes you more likely to become super partisan, which is like, how's that working for us right now? Or fall into the trap of like, oh, if all women would become a tradwife, then it's miraculously solved. Or, this is because men are toxic and stupid and, good riddance. Let's just have a planet without them. I don't think that, I don't see a lot of that, but I have seen this like tradwife stuff, which is like, oh, this is interesting. And then, we're seeing these hyper masculine characters in media and politics, hyper feminine characters, with the face and the stuff. And so it's very fascinating of like, okay, these polarities of male versus female, left versus right. I'm like, yeah, is this working? This framing? So,
well, and the mechanic of that 3 is as within, so without. The further and further you get away from your body, the more polarized it is.
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing in the world around us. And then we're not the only country, because we're not the only
this is global
through because of these,
Yeah, I mean, some of this is too, like, you can't deny that it's a backlash to progress. The women have more, I mean, our grandmothers, their options were stay with your husband or stay with your husband. Okay. Like, did you have any questions? But I think, so bringing this back to like how it affects women. So I mean, I'm dealing with this right now. Like my husband is kind of in this slump of feeling really lonely. He's tired of, he works alone. He's a consultant. He works alone all day. And he's like, I'm so sick of this. He goes to co-working, but it's like, there's still not a lot of interaction. People's social skills are really low right now. Yeah. And so even when you're trying, you're kind of like, I went to the hot tub yesterday. There's a, co-ed community hot tub. 5 people in the hot tub. All 5 are on their phones in the hot tub. It's like, that's new. I didn't used to see that. Mm-hmm. Like, so for me to like strike up a conversation, I have to like bust through, I have to be like, it's not going to kind of happen organically. I have to be like, hi there. Oh, can I talk to you? Like, it's going to be weird. Like, I don't, and so one, I think we need community builders, but what I'm experiencing with my husband is, to what degree do I do socializing for him? Do I set up all kinds of fun things and do that emotional labor for him? Sure. Some of that benefits me too. Everyone knows I'm a party animal and like to host things, but I can't set up his man friends. I can't hold space for him for endless emotional processing, because he's pretty good, but a lot of men, they don't even know, and either does their female partner, that like, yeah, actually that's not super healthy to just have a therapist on demand and emotional support, emotional first responder, So I think if women are watching this and wondering, yeah, no kidding, I know all this. Either if they're young, they can't find anyone to date. And if they're coupled, they're like, yeah, my boyfriend or husband doesn't have a friend. He only feels comfortable talking to me about anything he's feeling or experiencing. I can't get him off of his phone. what are steps we can point, things we can point them towards, of like, you don't have to be emotional first responder. You can set limits to that. But it's a tough situation. I've talked to lots of young women that are like, yeah, there's no men to date, which I don't believe, but I'm also seeing like, yeah, it's rough out there. I don't know how young people are meeting each other so much.
Yeah, I mean, I just
Matchmaking.
Instagram, because Instagram people comment there. We can't see it on our platform that we use. And this sweet little person responded to you, 3, saying that they can help with technology. Not
Oh
a
my gosh.
masculine man here, but very smart with tech.
I'll take it. I know.
Yeah.
I have tech emergencies all the time.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
yeah.
Word, please,
Really,
someone teach me how to use that. It's too complicated.
yeah, and you don't have to be like, I mean, that's not even 3's type, just so you know. Like,
I want to hear what you think my type is. You don't even know. I don't have a type lately. I'm kind of just freestyling.
oh, are you freestyling these days?
Yeah, I'm not on the dating circuit right now. Just laying a little bit low. Well, that's not totally true.
I like the look of a masculine man. I remember seeing one out the other night. I was like, oh my, what a specimen. But I know.
Have you ever been around a lot of Russian or Eastern European men? I didn't think I was into super masculine men until I was in Eastern Europe, and I was like, they're like 6'5", big, and their beards aren't like scraggle beards; they're like shaped. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
Okay, like, I mean, for white people, like Eastern Europe is like really attractive. But anyways, we digress.
My parents went to Russia. They were like in their 60s. And I went through my dad's photos, and it's all Russian women's legs with like red heels. Just
No,
yeah. Whole photo stream is just like ladies.
Like,
he's like, how do these Russians? They have like these perfectly skinny, beautiful legs and heels. I mean, he just like his whole. I was like, is that all you did in Russia? Was just look at legs?
They're tall people over there. Shout out to my short kings. I see you.
Yeah, I see you. Yeah. Well, so okay. Yeah. So what do we do about it? First and foremost, as within, so without. You just got to get in your body. I don't care if it's through meditation. You take classes here with us at Boulder Psychic Institute. I'm going to pop a link in the comments here. Y'all can take Self-Healing 101 with me, learn how to get into your body. That class starts on Tuesday. You could go on a hike. You could do yoga. I don't care how you do it. Just put this cute little guy, put the phone down, get off the computer at least for a few hours a day, and try to get into your body, whether you're male or female. Because here's the thing. I want to propose for those women out there who are frustrated by this, that you can make a difference and have a very big ripple effect simply by being in your body, being embodied. Okay? When you're in your body, not only are you more attractive, not only are you sexier, I mean, people notice when you're in your body, and I don't care what you look like, what you got going on, you're in your body, people, like, they feel that. Okay. And it like sparks some pheromones there. Okay. So you're going to become more noticed by your male or female counterparts. But the other thing that will happen is when people notice you, go, oh, I like whatever what's going on over there. And it's
weird.
Right. And it's not necessarily visual, it's energetic. They like that you're in your body, that you're in communication, you're loving your body, your teammates with your body. And then they'll start to go, oh, maybe I'll do the same thing. I'll have what she's having. And maybe those male counterparts or even your girlfriends around you will start to come more into their bodies too. Right. So you want to be the spiritual, energetic role model for those around you. It will have a ripple effect because we are pack animals. We tend to match those around us. And are you going to be a leader or are you going to be a follower? Right? And to be a spiritual leader, one of the ways that you can really solve this is I'm just going to be in my body, in my body, in my body, and allow that to become a ripple effect to those around us. From
Well,
there, then you're gonna have ideas around maybe, how often do I wanna set up mandates for my husband? Or, you'll have more inspiration around how to reach out to a man who's very lonely or who's totally sucked into their phone. You're gonna
mhm,
have different ideas and thoughts come with you being in your body. You're gonna have way more options and choice than just it's left or right. Right?
mhm,
Either they're toxic or, you know, we have to be tradwives, right? We don't those aren't options.
right.
Those
Also,
aren't
I am also a trad wife,
Ah!
as well as being queer and polyamorous. Like you're always saying this, like I have some trad wifeness in me, like mostly that I like to craft and make things from scratch. But it's not about like being subservient to him.
Y'all
Um,
hear this. I was telling my son, "Hey, we get to go to Three's house on Saturday." And I was telling my 7-year-old son this. He goes, "Yes, I get to cook with her. Oh, what are we cooking? What are we cooking?" I'm like,
oh man, I have to have a project for Orion. That's funny.
he loves your tradwifeness.
I know. He's on the job when he's at my place.
He loves it.
Well, here's something I observed. So I like my husband is really in the male loneliness epidemic. He'll even say that. And
Mhm.
he, even when he's trying, he's like, I'm trying to join this men's group. The dude didn't get back to me. The session, it doesn't start till summer. But, it's like, he's trying. He works alone. There's some things working against him. But I notice if he's having a bad day and he's talking to me about it, because I think I'm fairly good at being embodied, I notice I will start to slip into two modes that stem from the same thing of because he's the primary provider for us. So my just mean wife brain is like, is this guy going to keep being able to provide for our family? And are we all going to starve and die because he's fucking lonely? And so I like escalate in no time of just like worst case scenario, first chakra going off, 911 emergency, me and my children are going to die. And then when I kind of like, how about we
Back in your body.
yeah, how about I calm down? And yeah, this is triggering, but in the other mode I get into is, oh, well, let me fix it. Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? And if I can just be present and listen and say, and I set boundaries of how often I'm available to be emotional first responder and, say, I will ask, is there anything I can do to support you to make it sort of more conscious, instead of just unconscious venting or me trying to do X, Y, or Z to solve the problem without even saying that out loud. But I can't say that solves the problem, but it's definitely, I think, a healthier for our relationship if I don't just start matching him
Yeah.
and start panicking and I have to solve it and oh my gosh, what does this mean? And pull it together.
And same mechanic, right? When you match it, that's your way of saying, "Oh, I just went into his space. I left my body,
Mm-hmm.
and now nobody's running the show here, or it's a crapshoot as to what's running the show here because I'm over there."
Yeah.
And again, I do see that if more and more women, if we want to support our male counterparts, it would be, "Oh, let me just come back to myself. Let me
I'm
be
in
my
sturdy.
yeah." And then, okay. And one of the phrases that I love with male female dynamics is, are you looking for comfort or do you want solutions? Because
Mm-hmm.
generally, the male brain is single focused and they love to problem solve. They love to
Mm-hmm.
solve problems, right? And sometimes that male female communication can get crunchy because the female doesn't want problems. She wants comfort. He wants solutions. But sometimes he might want comfort too, right? And so I do think that just communicating that, like, what is it that you are looking for right now? Is it,
Mm-hmm.
or is it solutions? Mm-hmm.
I have all the greatest solutions, and then he doesn't listen. So
Yeah. So maybe he's wanting comfort in that moment, right?
right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so again, like being that spiritual role model, being in the body, then you're going to get new information as to how to work with that. And, it's really interesting. Talking about our son, we had a recent gathering at your house And he did so great when he had a task, making the noodles. I mean, three's such a tradwife. We made homemade noodles, and they turned out
Pasta. Because it was
amazing.
Italian night, it's pasta. But anyways,
Oh
go on.
my goodness, meatballs and fettuccine. I mean, I had the most carbs I'd had in a year, and it was so good. But he did so great. And then the minute I kind of lost track of him and let him go do his thing, he found the TV and he was just in it. Totally in it. And then that's when it was hard to get him to do anything else, like eat and take care of his body, or to, engage again. And he did. We had a difficult moment because he just totally fell into that.
Parties are like a worst case scenario often for kids under 10.
Well, and I'm kind of speaking to, like, he's pure form boy, right? He's just raging testosterone, like, male right now. And to just see how plain as day that is. Oh, you can't really let them fall into that screen, because then you've lost them, and you have lost them until they are freaking ready to come back out again.
Yeah.
And I speak to this with dating too, where women, they'll try to reach out to a man and be like, hey, do you want to make plans for Friday? And they won't hear from that man at all until Friday at 5 p.m. And I try to explain to them, oh, they were focused on work, focused on work, focused on work, focused on work, focused on. They couldn't even think about you. But then they came up for fresh air because they were ready. It's Friday at 5 p.m. And they're like, oh, I'm done with work. I'm not focusing on that. Boom, focus on you. And then women get annoyed, like, they could have made a plan with me. And it's like, he just wasn't focused there. And I'm not excusing any of the behaviors. I'm just explaining that that's how the male brain tends to work, right? And so they will not come up for air until they're ready, right? Because of that intense need for focus. And so that's when then they'll reach out and say, hey, you want to go on a date tonight? And the woman's like, no, I already made other plans. You should be on Monday. And he's like, no, I was focused. And I observed that, plain as day with my son, and totally forgot about that until I was in the moment going, oh crap, I let him fall into that TV screen. And until that movie was going to be over, I wasn't going to be able to feed him or pull him out of anything, no matter how low blood sugar he got or how disruptive he was getting. I wasn't going to pull him out of that at all. And this is where I do coach, women, like, if when your man sits down on the couch and plays a video game or does whatever on his phone, like, if you try to interrupt him, then he will be so annoyed. Right? If you interrupt him, he has to then change his focus from this to you.
From ketchup to, there's the ketchup.
And then he has to refocus back. I mean, that is a lot of energy. And male-bodied people are energy conservers. They're all about conservation of energy, right? And so, trying to get it up to get out of the house and go interact with people, they won't do that unless they know it's going to be a win.
Right. Gina Marie is asking, what's something a male-bodied person experiencing male loneliness can do today, aside from coming into their body? Nice jujitsu move there, Gina Marie. Like, yeah, I heard the first part. I want more.
I think being out in nature.
Yeah, you got to get, there are groups of people doing things, and you have to go to those groups, and you have to give it the old college try. You can't go once. You have to go to the game night, the hike group, the whatever, a handful of times and do the work. You have to brush off that, I feel like everyone under 40 is talking to me about social anxiety, which, yes, come into your body, but also, like, it's kind of like going to the gym. Like, you need to start exercising that muscle more. You need to go into group settings. You need to be this, right now there's not enough community organizers. And so you have to start, can I be a community organizer? And you don't have, community can be lunch with one other guy. Can I make a reoccurring lunch plan with a buddy once a week? We have lunch, we go get a beer, we go to happy hour. I like Professor Scott Galloway. And he's like, the young people aren't drinking enough. They just start drinking more. Like, okay. Yeah.
Mistakes. Yeah. So, well, and what you're speaking to there is, I think men and women, but men tend to do better with structure and we're showing up to do this thing. Like my snowboarding boys that I hung out with all through high school and college, that was our thing. Every weekend, we were up at 5 in the morning, getting our coffee, getting our snowboarding gear on, driving up to the mountain, and, that was our project. That was what we were focused on, and that's what we did, and then we'd race down the mountain, and then we'd have beers afterwards, but that's how we had that structure to get together, right? And that's why, high school kids and college kids, they don't really experience the male loneliness as much because you're going to class, you're going to your, extracurricular activities, you're doing, there is that structure that forces you to do it. And if you don't have that solid foundation after you don't have school, and especially now that people aren't going into the office and forced to hang out and interact, do, Friday afternoon club or all those things that you get to experience when you work in an office space, they're at a loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of that single focus, it is so much easier when there's a structure, right? So I would say for a male-bodied person, go find a climbing club, a hiking club, find your snowboarding buddies, your bicycle group. I have that structure where it's like, okay, every Saturday, this is what we're doing. Right?
And commit to it at least half a dozen times that you engage with that group.
Yeah, because I mean, you're not going to just become friends with somebody. I mean, it took 3 years to get to the place where we're at. Right now, we just know each other. We're all buddy. But at the beginning, it's like, oh, who are you? Da da da. How to know each other? There's always a dance. Right. I do see getting out in nature, usually doing something athletic, is very good for the male bodies, and especially if that centers around something that's structured. Boom, you got a great solution there.
I also love, I don't know how to say this. Don't always go for people your own age and your own stage of life. Like I have this joke, like 20-year-olds are super fun, and then over 50 is super fun. Like I find that 30 and 40-year-olds take themselves pretty seriously. After about 45, people start loosening up again. I'm just like, forget it. It's just the competition, cools off. The intensity of parenting, trying to make a plan with another parent is extremely hard. But if you have like having a young friend, having a friend in their 20s, you can be like, hey, let's go to this movie. I'm picking you up in 17 minutes. I'll be at your house. And they're like, okay, I just need to tie my shoes and then I'm ready. Can I still go? Yeah, great. You have 14 more minutes. And they're available. They want to do stuff. What's that?
That if you did that to me, I'd be like, can we schedule that in 5 months?
Yeah, no, right. Forget that. And then same with people that are older. When they're 50 something, their kids are, not such an issue. They're also more available to be like, hey, you want to go do that thing? Let's do that. And it's not like they're 100, and they're usually kind of bad too, which makes it fun. Like older people are way more likely to be like, should we skip work and smoke cigarettes? Okay. But, so, trying to be friends with someone who is in the same exact place of life, like, especially if you have kids, it's just like, it's going to be so much harder, I feel like. But sometimes, my favorite thing at a party, if there's different ages of people in any kind of group thing, I will aim for older, younger. I'll aim for the young ones. My favorite question is I'll just walk up to them and go, tell me your drama. I'm not going to do that with anyone my age. Like, no. That you can book a session with me that costs money, but like a 22-year-old, they'll tell you the greatest things. Well, and same with someone who's older. They're just more open. They're more receptive to, life. Sometimes, 30 or 40-year-olds, you're in the fast lane. You're in the left lane of life, work, career, kids. So aim, play around with like a younger buddy. But yeah, you got to put the phone down. You got to get out of the house. You got to join a group. You got to show up. You have to show up to life, which is a hard, I think, pill to swallow. Just like there's no magical protocol here. You have to try. You have to get out there.
As Sri would say, try trying.
You try trying.
Try trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I want to say is do not blame.
Right. It's not women's fault.
It's not men's fault. I mean, right. This is your problem. do not point the finger out there that it's everybody else's problem.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear this like very early on in my lectures here at Boulder Psychic Institute. When you point the finger at somebody, there's always three fingers pointing back at you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we always start with everything here at BPI is go within. What's the energy that you need to clear? What do you have to confront within yourself? You know, it's you are the creator of your life. It is not anybody else's problem. If you're lonely and you're pointing the finger, you will never get a solution, and you're just going to be stuck in victim for as long as you decide you're going to, like, until you reincarnate again. I don't know, but you cannot point the finger. This really has to be a you thing where you go within and you decide, how am I going to solve this problem?
Mm-hmm.
And again, we have wealthy oligarchs and tech bros who are, you know, encouraging everyone to point the finger. And I'm sorry, but that just, it doesn't work. And
They're
if
doing
we
everything they can to keep you addicted to your phone. So
it makes
you
that a problem.
mm-hmm.
And if you can just go within and come more into your body and say, okay, what do I need to confront here? Oh, I'm not getting out enough. Oh, I'm not eating 3 meals a day. Oh, I'm on social media or on gaming apps way too much. And you just confront that and you start to make those changes. It will have a ripple effect. It really will. People will start to vibe. Humans are way more psychic than they'll admit to.
Mm-hmm. You know,
and they'll feel your vibe, and you'll be more attractive, more interesting, and they'll want to hang out with you. And this is where the battle of the sexes, it's got to end.
it's exhausting.
It is exhausting. It is not. And I to this day, I can shout to the rooftops, we are not opposites. We are complementary. We are designed to complement each other. We are designed to complement each other. So when I talk about male focus brain, that's a complement to our diffuse awareness brain. And what a wonderful thing to have those two come together, that male and female balance, to really be able to manifest. Okay. Now, if you can do that within yourself, great. If you can have a nice male female balance within yourself. But what I'm saying here is it's not the other sex's problem. It's nobody else's fault. I mean, if we're going to point a finger, it's at the wealthy tech people who are schooling everyone. Okay. Blame them. Take your pitchforks and go, you know, mob them. But it is not us little folk, if you will. It is not us that's the problem.
You know,
you got to solve that. But right, we are being fed this on a bigger level.
I'm going to make a loaded statement, so I want you to brace for impact. This is my personal opinion. I'm not speaking on behalf of the entire queer community. This whole loneliness epidemic, I've often said this is a straight people problem. Like, in queer circles, there isn't the huge male-female dichotomy. So all the lines are blurred. And so there's just not as much of that charge. And, you know, we've learned to get together by necessity, you know, so there's lots of queer groups. We're hanging out, you know. So sometimes I see this and I'm like, this is a straight people problem. And which stems from the just intensity of the binary and the intensity of like, somehow it's women's fault or somehow this is all men's fault, you know. So that's my loaded statement for the day. But I also had another insight that I was thinking about in terms of nature and the power of having a grounding event that you have a routine meeting over. That was jumbled, sorry. Like, don't forget about the earth elements. Like, if you have a backyard, a monthly campfire, watch how much people will be drawn to the fire. Like, in my community group that I organize, our most popular events, there's usually a grounding activity, whether it's a game or a craft, or like when I have like a solstice bonfire and there's a bonfire, or in the summer, some other organizers had Lake Day, the water, organize around the water, that it's a magnet for humans to, you know, the forest, a hike. It's getting outside. I mean, I'm being kind of witchy right now, but like around a certain earth element. People are drawn to that. We've been gathering around fires since humans have been humans. We go to the water, go to the forest. Air is a little trickier, but so you don't have to overthink it. And if you don't have a backyard with a fire pit, well, you probably a grill. I don't know, something. But everyone is, we've got to work together to. Doesn't even matter who you are. We have to work together to put the phone down and not fall into the trap that these oligarchs want us to stay addicted.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would love it if parents would band together and ban phones from schools.
Yeah.
And just keep that away from young children. Even the big tech oligarchs, they don't let their kids on phones. They know how unhealthy it is for the brain.
We'll look back on this era the same way we look back on when people smoked cigarettes with the windows up in the car with their kids in the back. Like, that'll be this era of like, oh yeah, whoops, that was sort of bad.
Yeah, I have a friend whose kids are in their later 20s, and I was asking her how she dealt with technology. She says horribly.
It's like all the burden is on the parent.
And it's ended up horribly, and my poor kids are so addicted as young adults. And she's like, and I had no clue how to work with that. Just blindsided.
I'm an optimist. I think there will be this moment where people will more awareness of like, this is wrecking my life. And I'm tired of making some trillionaire, even trillionaire, more trillionaire.
More trillion.
Yeah.
What comes up in trillion? Quadrillion.
Yeah. I think like my takeaway for today, I love being embodied. Everyone needs to be embodied to have a human experience, to heal, to have fun. And if you've got a man who's lonely, you got to do your best to not match his energy, not try and cure him. You get to set boundaries. You don't have to be emotional first responder. It's not your job to keep him. You can do a little of that.
I mean, the way I do it is I'm the leader in our family. And so I'm the one who sets the tone for new diets or ways of eating or exercising. And, I started after years of sedentary life, nursing and making babies. I picked up strength training again after not doing it for about 10 years. And started
do it.
iron. And about 6 months later, my husband literally comes in the office. Hey, babe, where's that place you're going to?
It's called the gym. GYM, not like Jim the guy. We're going to gyms.
And he's like, I think I need to start going. And so, if you're the role model, they will follow, right? I am kind of the social director, but he just kind of comes along and he loves it, and it's fine. Mm-hmm. And if he wants to go do his own social thing, he absolutely can. But again, he is the energy conserver, and if he can kind of ride on my coattails in the social scene, he'll happily do that. But I'm also very careful not to caretake him or solve any of his problems for him, because that is so unsexy. I don't want to become his mother. Right. Yeah. And so I just set the tone, and here's what I'm doing. I'm getting healthier. Oh, I'm eating this way. Da, da, da. And he just starts to follow. Right. Mm-hmm. Took him years to realize, I don't really want to do dairy anymore. I kind of feel inflamed. I think I'm kind of allergic. It took him years. Right. And I'd just be, he'd have it in the fridge and I just wouldn't touch it. And then finally he's like, well, what are you doing over there? Mm-hmm. And then I tried oat milk for a while, and then all that information about ALAs came out, and I was like, I guess I can't do oat milk anymore. Mm-hmm. And,
I think if you're a young woman in dating, you mm-hmm. can look for well, first get off the apps, just leave that sinking ship. And, does he have friends?
Right.
Does he have guy friends? And if the answer is no, that's a bit of a red flag.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of dating, 3 and I think 2 years ago, we taught a spiritual dating 101 course. And how to date like a psychic. And actually, one of our main tenets was there are plenty of people out there to date. There are 8 billion people on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that there's no one to date is incorrect.
Yeah.
Sorting problem, not a lack of other people problem. And we actually get very methodical about how you can date. You can actually purchase that course if you would like to. There's a link there.
And we have an upcoming workshop.
Yeah, well, and we also taught, right after we taught that spiritual dating class, we realized, oh my goodness, people have a lot of past hurts that's making it difficult for them to find their new beloved. So then we taught this whole 4-month course on how to release and reset from past relationships. So that link is in there too.
Yeah, those are great. And I've had a lot of positive feedback about those people that took those. They're 4 weeks. It's some fun spiritual tools.
Yeah, we talk about how to just get very methodical about how to date so you can sort out the people who are not right for you and sort in the ones who are going to be a better likely fit.
Mm-hmm.
Really, kind of when I look at it, most people just have bad pickers. You just got a bad picker. And we go through the steps of how to improve your picker. But if you don't want to improve your picker, your girlfriends or your friends will always probably pick better than you could for yourself.
Yeah.
If they're good friends. All right. Last thing, 3 and I are teaching a class on healing your money wounds and reframing your abundance mindset. That link is in here, and that is going to be on Friday the 27th. So everybody talks about love this month, and we thought, let's talk about money.
Boring. Yeah. Let's talk about money.
Yeah. I mean, the number one cause of relationship breakups is money. Or cheating.
The other woman.
What?
The other woman.
Yeah, I was going to say, money, the other woman. If you want to learn how to do all of this stuff for yourself, come take Self-Healing 101. I actually have a group starting in 2 weeks on Tuesdays at 11. Come learn how to heal yourself and how to get more embodied. And then last thing, we have an awesome newsletter. I'm going to tout Three's Horn. She writes these really great Saturday newsletters that are very informational. She teaches about concepts and gets your mind thinking about all sorts of great ideas and how to look at it maybe more from a spiritual perspective. So our link for our newsletter is in the chat right now. That is how we advertise our free pop-ups. That's how we advertise these lives. So if you want to be in the know, you got to be in our newsletter.
The newsletter has stuff that, isn't routinely scheduled.
Yes. Yeah.
This was a good talk today, everybody. Yeah.
Come into your body, be the role model, and then all this will be available to you.
Stop making the oligarchs richer.
Yes. And then when in doubt, just get orange lipstick.
That's a fast track. Okay.
3 taught me about these like press-on, stick-on nails. And they just delight me. I don't have to sit at the salon forever, smell all those fumes, and they last just as long.
I know, we're looking good, dude. We are looking good. We are looking good. The babies have been had, and we have regrouped. Yeah.
Someday we should talk about motherhood and birthing, and you can tell your whole process, regrouping.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
work up to that. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Again, it's not the battle of the sexes. We complement each other. Start to look at those counterparts as a complement. We're designed to work together, not be torn apart.
Find a group.
Find your group. Get out in nature. All right.
Start a fire.
I love fires. They're so great. Yeah.
Lately I wake up with a headache the next day though, because I have too much smoke.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
All right, everyone.